What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mystic's MMOs. I'm your host, Mystic Raven, and Brutal Blade is angry. He's like, get me the power of Nirn. I want the power of Nirn. And I'm like, okay, Brutal, listen, man. We're getting it for you, man. I'm only one person. I still got to get on the Templar tonight. No! Yes, you can get on the Templar. But I want one Nirn tonight. And I'm like, okay. I'm on it, Brutal. I'm on it. I'll do it. Just back up. So I'm going to get on 3 healers. We're going to go ahead and do the randoms. So Brutal can get off my ass. Right?
You're supposed to. I don't see how.
He's tired of being a weakling. He's like, I want the Nirn. I need the Nirn. And I get it, man. I get it. I understand. Can't believe I haven't done this mission. Well, this isn't my main platform. Oh. And if you're new to my channel, yes, your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a DK healer. I don't know who you guys have been watching, but I'm pretty sure it's more likely shit. Gotta kill everything, man. Oh, it's for the other mission. That's fine. But yeah, Brutal's a little picky. So we're gonna spend about 20 to 30 minutes and get it out of the way. We'll get him as Nirn. Now, all you meta players, I do not want to see you guys in Cragwarn farming Nirn. It's bad for you. Stick to the meta and do not deviate. Stick to the meta. I don't think I need anything in here but a friggin' potential axe. Well, I can't. I would.
Heal me.
It won't let me. Won't let me. It will not let me. What's up with that? I would like to.
Yet. Cowards, the lot of you. This mine belongs to House Celos. You are intruders and will be disciplined as such.
Oh my god! Oh my god, I've been waiting for that!
Old Celos must be
Oh
breaking in a-
my god! I got the flame staff of the Nich's Touch,
There was gold in here.
but I haven't been able to get the flipping flame of overwhelming. Bullshit. This is, you know what, Zoss? Thank you. Thank you for the drop today. Thank you for this drop. Where's my flaming overwhelming, damn it? Where?
You'll pay for this, Sadri.
You know how many times I've been on in this platform in that dungeon trying to farm it?
Catch me first.
By the neck, no.
It's bullshit. Bye, Vivek. No.
Yes.
You guys can go without me, man. I'll catch up. You guys don't need a healer that bad, right? I cannot believe that dropped. I doubt I use Nich's Touch. I'm not using it for my 1 DPS build. I don't even think I'm using it for the next one. It's still a good set. There's just, you know, with everything the way it is, it's still good on a mag sword. It really is. Like automatons. Automatons is great. Nich's Touch is great. But the thing about it is, you have to ask yourself, you know, whoa. I guess we're not going to do the next one. Whatever. That's fine. I'm only doing it for brutal anyways. Not like any other tune was supposed to get anything. He's so selfish. I'll pull the other boss here too. They'll be shocked. They'll be like, yo, man. Come here. Come on. This is going to be so funny. It's normal. Don't call me a meanie. It's not like anybody's really gonna die.
You want me? Come and get me.
I need to kill it anyways to get to the exit. Yay. I think that's for the mount. Right here, right where?
So, did you find? That's the deed, all right. Just doing what.
Awesome. Excellent. Okay. Now we got 10, 20 more to go. Stupid brutal. Irish. Just one lead away from Pale Order. Oh my god, dude. What build are you talking about? My Nightblade PvE build. I'm redoing. Remember my build with Sword Dancers? And the Maelstrom bow? Except I used a different crit set. I I'm rebuilding it with Leviathan. So, because I gotta, with my blade, I have to get Undaunted. So I'm like, well, I better build something like really good. Just, you know, if I'm gonna have to do dungeon crawling, you know. But I accidentally, you know, well, I didn't accidentally. I transmuted my bow already because, you know, whatever. So I'm gonna have to transmute it back to Nirn. Sucks. Makes me want to go farm more. But I hate farming. Vet arenas. Really hate it. You know, especially when shit don't drop. It's just, it really irks me. So, because you spend a little bit of time in there, right? You know, DSA is not so bad, but whatever. So I was like, you know, shit. Well, it depends on the group, I should say. I was like, well, I know I'm going to use the Sword Dancer set. And if I use the Sword Dancer set, well, I know I got to have a static set. It's got to be crit. Well, then I know I either have to use the Maelstrom bow. Ooh, gross. Or I can go single target and go with the Master Bow. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, big time. I'll opt for B. Sweet, awesome. Yeah, dude, you remember it? Dude, I love that build. Oh my God, for all you do. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Oh my God, Irish. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, I was like, you know, Sword Dancers is so underestimated. And I'm like, you guys do not have a clue. You don't. You just don't. It's just like Sword Dancers. If you go with everything out, 600 weapon damage on sword. Like, I try to do the rotation without the Deadly Cloak, but I can't. Because the Deadly Cloak is necessary. It hits harder than Hurricane. Because it's 1200 per second on that build. It'll actually scale more. I think I can get like 1400 or something out of it when I put Nirn on it. So it's because I got the pen. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't need to go to Slime Crawl with it, but I needed to go with the Crags due to the pen. Because of the flank passive to Nightblades. Just checking my stuff. Okay. Another one. He'll have it. He'll have his flipping Nirn. He's so bossy. He's so bossy. My Nightblade is a bossy blade. Give me the power of Nirn, damn it! I want it! How dare you transmute this to Sharpen, you bastard! I didn't tell you to do that. I really like the Necro Healer. I'm going to be serious. I think, besides Nightblade healing, this is my favorite healer. Nightblade's still my favorite. But this is probably my next favorite. It probably is. Just because, like, I'm just like debuff. Here's my little dude. Like, Templar healing bores me. God, it bores me. What the heck, yo? I got a dead person. Man, I got separated people. You guys remember in the beginning, right, when we only had like 2 DLCs and everybody would stand in that poison, refilling that thing. Remember that? I know you guys do. I know if you're old enough, you guys, if you've been here long enough, you guys remember when people did that. And you're like, get out of the fucking poison. And it didn't kill you, but it just wouldn't die. You're just like, this sucks. I remember kicking people just on that principle. Not that we wanted to, we kept asking them, but they just didn't get it. And we're like, can you please do us a favor and get out of that? Thank you. Matter of fact, you don't even have to do anything. Just sit there. These are going fast, though. So I only got 4 more pieces to transmute on him, and he'll be good. Now, I'm thinking to myself in the back of my head, right, that the Necro has this powerful debuff, right? Now, correct. Let somebody tell me. There has to be a set out there that mimics it. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, but Zoss really doesn't like to put in any class mechanic without giving every other class the capability of possessing it. So tell me if there's a set out there that mimics that set. Because I'll tell you, I think there is. I haven't looked it up. I've been gone. But usually there is. Usually. Because you see this ability? This is crazy. Right? Minor vulnerability. There's, you know, I'm like, I know there's different things to give it. And I'm thinking, there has to be a set that procs it. A new set. Just on the principle. That came out when this class came out. And I was like, coming, dude. Oh my. Why do I have aggro? Man, I'm going to get that Templar up by tomorrow because we got the event. Then I'm going to be maxing out my doing dailies, just everything daily. You know, getting the quest, getting all that started on multiple tunes, and a double XP, pop scroll. Double XP, pop a scroll. Alright, whatever. There's probably nothing in it. Ah. Would have been better if it was lightning, but I actually have used the set. It's not bad. But would I use it in endgame? No. Just, it's a good starting set though. Until you get Spell Power Cure, that's a really good set. Until you get your Spell Power Cure. It's actually, it was my set I used prior to acquiring my Spell Power Cure. Seriously. It was a really nice set. I used that in Crags. Cagernax, hope. Good old Cags, man. That, you know, I will say, Cags was really good. Then I switched to Trinimac on the DK. I went with Combat's Position on the Blade because of the crit bonus and the shield. The shield was pretty good. Don't use Combats now. You know, I used to have all these little healing gimmick builds. Anything for extra mitigation. Why? All right. Yay. One more. No have is Nirn. Thank you for the content, man. No problem, brother. I'm just glad you guys called me back. I gave everybody an opportunity to tell me, you know, hey, man, what do you guys want to see? Right? What do you guys want to see, man? You know, what do you guys want me to play? And, you know, the biggest thing is, and I think it was a good time to come back. I think, you know, especially since I've been gone for years, it's always been my favorite game. Just things irk me, you know, that, you know, sometimes doesn't get brought, certain things don't get brought to the table, and we complain about it over and over. My end game is PvP. You all know this, right? We all know Mystic's end game is PvP. Do I PvE? Yes. Do I do my bets? Yes. Sometimes more than others. Sometimes I don't care about certain ones. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, whatever. I mean, but a lot of times trial sets I've never wanted up until Perfected came out. Because I'm just like, you know, I'm losing a stat. You guys don't understand that. I'm losing a huge stat. All right. Yes, I get the bonus. I'm not arguing that. But you have to understand, the way I do my build, I'm actually going to lose. So no. And then that's why I didn't care. But I built with trial sets too. Because the procs were just so good. Some of them were just really good carryovers. So some sets are very good, and other times questionable. And I've built gimmick builds with trial sets, and it was good. It was okay. And I've had gold trial sets and some stuff. But you know, at the end of the day, I think more or less I've always pushed for PvP. PvP builds never stop. Never stop. You're always trying to figure out how to get around the BS. And as much as you get annoyed, I mean, you guys remember it, man. I'd come out with some toxic stuff. People were like, you have no skill, all your stuff. First it was Zergling, because I like to play because I like to siege, and then I get stalkers on my streams chasing me down. Oh God! And then that was annoying. And then then I come out with toxic builds, and they are toxic. I'm not arguing that. And then they're like, "Oh, Mystic, you are so toxic." I'm like, "Yeah, I know it's toxic, but you guys are playing toxic too." Duh. And some of them get really gross. What a way to finish it off. Easy peasy. Easy peasy peasy. I don't want to talk to him. I hate talking to him.
I do, though I've seen better days.
No, I don't have to talk to him.
Lord's power has grown. He would not have been able to escape our predecessors as he has escaped us today. We need to go after him.
What folly is this?
What delightful folly is this? The king have enlisted an outsider to face me? You fools have fallen so low!
I will come out. I'll try to get all the sets and then try to
To prove your bravery, mortal. Turn back
and try to get this updated. Now, most of healer builds we know are the same due to the functionality. There are a few that have an exception, but most of them are the same. I think most of the time the headset changes, but given the fact that we have that one set that increases buff duration, it's so yummy. Oh my god, I have to flipping have it. I have to. I will have it. I will. I'll have a ton of those motherfuckers. You know, there's not a lot of times that I tell people you just gotta get this set. A lot of times I'm like, whatever. No, man, that set is delicious. I'm not even gonna lie.
See to him.
See to him.
By the Empyrean light.
Let's hope he lives. He will. I think he will. Stamplar for the win. Look at that Stamplar. Or Magplar even. Might be a Magplar. I don't know. After you, gentlemen. I'll be honest, Templar, besides Templar healing, Sork healing is boring. Because it's just easy. It's like cakewalk. It's like, hit, rotate, hit, rotate, hit, rotate. DK is good. I like DK. It keeps me on my toes. Because if I mess up, that's the first thing that people saying, oh my god, you came in here with the DK healer. It's all your fault. So I'm not allowed to mess up. Right? I'm not allowed 1 inch of a fuck up on a DK healer. At all. You're not allowed. Any other healer, oh, it's okay if you mess that breath of life. Oh, we totally get it. We understand. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Is that I'm going to enjoy this? Outsiders. So the keepers are afraid to face me. Very well. You'll die in their stead. You think you've beaten me? How amusing.
Bind him.
Notice that the pact I made protects me.
Bind his ass.
Ignore his words.
Bind him.
Begin the separation.
Yes.
I'm not confident this will work, Sirion. What are you not doing? Oh, I do so love to see magic. Is that what this is? This isn't as grand as the spells I learned from the Daedra. But I don't expect much from mortal all. Remember, children, you'll never keep me here of your own accord.
Bind his ass. Shut him up now. Don't let him talk.
Perhaps you'd fare better if you had Daedra on your side.
His madness nears delirium. Ignore him, keepers. Bind the High Kinlord.
By the light of Nirn, the keepers
Yes.
of the banished cells hereby condemn Rilis the 12th to imprisonment unending.
Oh my, it looks like you've won. Old Relis's days of freedom are over, it seems.
You said this bastard wouldn't be able to speak.
He shouldn't be able to achieve.
He is a
what he
bastard.
sought. We'll have to watch him carefully. The prison's not perfect yet, but we have time, and Rilis isn't going anywhere. I'll make sure of it. Thanks to you, Rilis will never see Tamriel again.
Or will he? Will he make a comeback?
Had he escaped to the surface? You have been in ages past. The vilest of my people were interred here as punishment. Today, the banished cells contain a sole prisoner, High Kinlord Rilis the 12th. Rilis is long dead, but his Daedric pact sustains him, and a prisoner he remained until today.
That's right. Rilis the 12th. Harold. Oh my god, Leda. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I forgot what set that is. That's the one with the 4 major buff rotation. Love the builds. Thank you. Thank you, Leda. Thank you. I'll keep them coming, man. I'll keep them coming. You know, it's been a minute. It's been a minute, but... You know, I like the math. You know, I'll be honest, I nerd out. Like I do. Like I'll sit there and I'll take what some people are using, and then I don't try to compete with them. I just want people to have accessible builds that they can. Well, and Master Bow is a bitch to get, but you can get the one on normal without doing that. And you don't need a heavy group to do it on normal. And all you're missing is just one little stat. It's still a great bow. Same thing with, a Maelstrom. If you want those weapons now, you can easily, like the Vat Shrine. I've never been in there. I saw a set in there. I got some weapon. I got a ton of weapons actually. But I saw that pestilence set, and that's what I went in there for. I didn't go for the weapons. And I'm usually picky like that. But like, I was like, how easy is it? Can, whatever. Cause, I want to think to myself, I'm trying to, build high end damage, easy accessible. Where people go from there, it's up to them. I prefer using a majority of my builds in everything. I play my builds in content. So that Eternal Mage Blade, I played in Vet Hellra, streamed it, and I didn't die, and I was dealing a lot of damage. I'm like, but you can watch it. I wish my metrics was available, but I don't know what's going on. I've tried different metrics. I've tried whatever. I got one add-on to work. One. I have no idea what the flip is going on. But, I mean, I don't care. I mean, I guess it's for the best, but for me, but because I can get out of hand. Okay. Let me make sure we have enough. Yes, we do. But I can get a little out of hand. Because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to like I can get a little meticulous on myself. Not against other people, but sometimes I can complain if it's too bad. But if it's not, and it's just, a little bit of a push, we all go through that. We've all been through that. Even me. We've all been through it. So, I think we all learn mechanics. We all learn rotations. I tried to have a rotation without the bladed cloak, but I can't do it. There's just too much damage loss. There's just too much AoE damage gone. And I'm like, can I do it without the bladed cloak and stack it like I have with the other two? And I can't. I just can't. That's the facts. And it's oh my God. I've used this build so many times in so many situations. It got me through Vet ESO. This build did. It got me through a lot of Vet DLCs and stuff. And then I made a poison build out of Swamp Raiders, something else, and that bow in Clockwork, because Snipe was such a hard rotation. But once I did, all of my poisons were doing an insane amount of damage. Like, I'm not even joking amount of damage. I was like, this is just... I was hitting 60 Ks. I was like, oh my God.
If you're looking...
And I streamed that test, I think. If I remember right. I was streaming that test. And I was like, oh. I was ready to pass out. I was like, what? It was just crazy. It was nuts. The rotation feels funky though, because you got to lead off with Snipe, and you have X amount of seconds to lay out all the poison damages. Boom, 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 boom. Then everything just boom, 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 boom. It's crazy. Yep, I have my OCD moments. Yeah. I get meticulous, and that's the thing. Like me, I used to when I had actually a parser on Rift and WoW, like those parsers allowed me to see my raid team's rotation. So I could click on your name. Imagine you were in my raid team. I could click your name and watch your entire rotation. Right? And I needed to know that during burn phases. So if we were fucking up somewhere, like, I would come unglued. Because I was like, what the hell is going on? Because we had enrage timers. And it sucked. Because we're trying to get our gear, but you can't complete the entire dungeon because you're lacking gear. Right? So you start gearing people because you'll get through one boss, two bosses, wipe. Next week, you get a couple people, you might be able to get through the third boss finally. That's how normal raid progression works. And then when you get people geared, you shouldn't wipe. You shouldn't. And then you're thinking to yourself, what the hell just happened, man? And everyone's like, I don't know. I don't know either. And I'm like, somebody has to know. Somebody knows. Because I'm the tank. And I'm like, I just remember so much. I remember that one video where, like, who aggroed the whelps more dots. I was laughing so hysterically because that was such a pain when Nyx came out. And now it's a joke of a raid. And I was like, oh God. Molten Core. Dude, getting that hammer was such a bitch. And it was all for naught. All of it was all for naught. You get complete gold gear. That's why I love this game. Because your gear is still good. A year from now, your gear is still good. You might have to make adjustments on the build because of the changes, right? And things. That's cool. But, your gear's not junk. And in every other game, it is. You did the content only to trash your gear. And that's why I love this game so much. That's why I love ESO so much. I kept telling people, man, you guys should enjoy this. It doesn't even have to be on that level. It doesn't have to be. Please enjoy it because it's good. It's really good for that. Okay, let's take a look at this, baby. All right. Okay. So, prior application 3006. Oh, didn't change it. Okay. Or did it? Oh, duh. I was on the wrong bar. 3007. Okay. So let's take it off one more time. Okay. We won't be able to see it. Okay, now, yeah. 18. Look at this. Prior to that bow, 18. Right? You guys see that? Add it. 3-7. Now look at the tooltips. And we've gone up. Oh yeah. We've gone up, baby. Oh yeah, we gone up. That needs actually morphed. That's pretty weak. Oh my God, it's gonna be so goddamn good. And so this is what I got left. I've got to gold these, Nirn these. Look, I got a powered and a charged. When I swap, right now we're sitting at 3.6. we add the potion buff, we're up at 4-2. Okay. By the time we Nirn hole these, both of them will be sitting over 5. And then when we infuse the ring, we'll be at 52 or something like that. Without, you know, with the major brutality potion. The rest are robust and recovery. We'll lose a little stand, but we'll scale. 2 infused and 5, and that needs to be divine as well. Actually, if I wanted to, I could divine this and I could infuse my head. Because currently, that's 61 crit. I only need to be at 60. I mean, I could go 63. I mean, if I divine it. If I wanted to divine the other one, I could go 63 too. But, you know, like my Mage Blade. But, you know, honestly, that's nitpicking. You know, that's nitpicking. 6-1 still. So I'm still running a 6-1 config. 1 heavy, 6 medium. It's the bang for the buck, man. It's the bang for the buck. Now, had it not been for the way this build works, I would have, because of keeping the thief and because of the passives, I would have had to gone with the lover. But because of the passives of the blade, I could keep the thief, right? Now, if you wanted to go with the shadow and drop it down considerably to like a 56, right? We could test it. But I think it would be about 56. I'm trying to remember where the shadow Mundus is. Let me take a look. I don't even know if I have it unlocked. Let me take a look. But, I don't know what my daughter's up to. So, taking a look, I'm looking it up. Green Shade, Ribbon Spire, it's in Shadowfen. Oh, I remember this, I remember it. Now. Okay, so let's go take a look real quick. Let's go pop this. I think it drops it down to about, I want to say about 56. And if you wanted to push up more critical damage, you could do that. But you would lose critical rating. Okay? So, the question of it is, you know, whatever, that's the most important thing. I want to say it's going to be about 56. Going to be, you know, about 7%, I want to say, something like that. We'll mark it. We'll go there. We'll grab the other way shrine too. Now, like I said, I got 3 more pieces. I could go 4 if I want to get technical. But now my other ones can't do that. My other stamps can't pull off to infused currently. It's just impossible. Because of the way their critical value, they're so dependent on those critical values currently within the medium. But if you go all 7, you end up losing, it's less than 1% on the gain because of the diminishing return. So then going all 7 isn't worth it because you lose the max stat pool due to the Undaunted passive. You're already losing some by abandoning the 5-1-1 config. But by taking all 7, you abandon all of it, and that 1% critical rating is beyond the threshold of diminishing return. It's like at that point, it's not even valuable. Okay, it's 42. Let's go ahead and pop the pot. Oh wait, I can just switch bars. 53, so it's even lower than that. So you could go with the shadow. You could, but to me, it's just I always stay between 55 and 60. That's always been my sweet spots. 55 and 60. Anything over, diminishing return, right? It affects base damage. Anything under it, it's just, it's a hit. So you really are kind of like, trying to play a balancing act, right? You're playing that balancing act. Now, here's something I want to kind of indicate. I'll show you the Mundus before the swap. So when we take a look at it, our critical damage is 14%, right? Now, if we went one more divine, we would go up to about 15% damage, right? Okay, now keep this in mind, 15%. Now, if you go into the CP system, this is where I want to show you this. How much money do I got on me? Not that I'm going to do it. I don't have enough. Anyways, here's the deal. This is equivalent to the Shadow Mundus. If you level this up, it's 15%. What's that called? An indifferent value. Now, the only reason I went with Fighting Finesse versus the Backstabber is because mobs aren't always turned. So I'd lose all of my critical bonus if they're not. So I took the 5% decrease. So now I only have a 10%, right? Which is less. But I increased the base damage, thus increasing what? My critical damage output to base. Then you guys can check that out. So I promise you. But yeah, 15% on the one. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. The devs know what they're doing. There's indifferent values everywhere, just everywhere in the game. The question of it is, what does your character need? Right? That's it. That's the question. What does your character need? Right? Now we're back up. Ta-da! Yay. Now see, that 61 does kind of get on my nerves, like the Mage Blade it does too. But I can't, I can drop down a Divine for an Infused to do that. Man, I got so many Sky Shards to get. It's driving me nuts. But I've got to actually log on to the Templar in PvP. But, yeah. No, it's crazy. Pale Order, Pale. Dude, I've got a surprise. Wait till you see my PvP build coming up. Oh my god. What am I running? Oh, on this? You got the ring. Yeah, the Pale Order ring. Dude, it's badass. Dude, I'm going to get that. Okay, so this is my old build. Well, with an exception. I didn't use Leviathan last time. But it's the same setup. I tried to go without. Try to see if I could stack. But, like I did with the others. I'm using the Krogs for the pen. So, and it's actually really nice damage. It's an AoE damage. So I'm using Krogs. 1 heavy, 6 medium, 1 infused, or 2 infused, because I don't need all that crit. So I was able to bump it up a little bit on the base stat. And technically I could take this head up, and then I need to make this divine. So I could put this infused, or just get another heavy head and whatever, make it infused, and then take this up divine. So it's the only one I don't need the other thing, because I took the base damage up. But yeah, so Crags, Sword Dancers. So almost 600 weapon damage to a dual wield. So here's the thing I showed in the last stream. Okay, so I want you guys to think of Deadly Cloak like Hurricane. Now, here's the deal. Sword Dancers is one of the most people used to laugh at me for using this set. but it gives 600 weapon damage. You just don't see it on the tooltip. You see it on the tooltip, but you don't see it reflected in the stat sheet. And I use Master Bow. Okay? So why do I use the Master Bow versus Maelstrom? Maelstrom's bow affects Endless Hail. And it does a shitload of damage on Endless Hail. It affects Endless Hail tremendously. However, it's only one effect, one ability. Master Bow, when you affect target, all of your abilities go up by 330. Now, when I do the swap, then I'm getting an additional 600 for the dual wield. Now, typically, let's say 400 is an average. Let's say your trial sets will even go up to about 5 to 6, right? So this is on par when it comes to like something like Scoria. No, not Scoria. The mage set stacks up. Anyways, so this is on par to something like that because of the way you're infecting the 330 and top of it with the sword dancers. And I'll use the daggers for the crit. Bow gets a critical passive on hit. So that really works out nice. So I got to get the belt infuse or divine. And then I've got to infuse my necklace. Now on the skill bar, this is the tip. This is just one. This hasn't even leveled. It deals 1232 each second. Each second. That is crazy. That is insanely a lot of damage. Now, I could scale it higher, but I need all these abilities. I need the Rending Slash, right, for the dot. Once I Nirn hone both daggers, this will go up almost 1,000 on the bleed once the proc is up. So once the proc and the Nirn hone's applied, we'll get a K per second on single target bleed. We'll also get rapid strikes, which is currently 1221. This will go up to about 14 something. And that will go up 3% on each base hit. And those crits are right now I'm dealing 9K crit on it on the final hit. So that'll scale up to about 12 on with buff. And then the whirling blades. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, a lot of people used to laugh at me for using this setup. And I'm like, y'all are high. Y'all are high as fuck. It's the only non-poison Nightblade build I've ever had. Except this time I'm an orc. So I've been a Khajiit blade and a friggin' a Bosner blade. So he's so lovely. I love him. Love him. So yeah, that's what we're running right now. No, of course, I'm just used to lightweight beast trap. I'm so accustomed to it on the rotation. That's why I wanted to try to go without the deadly cloak. But the deadly cloak DPS on the damage it affects on the AoE is just like Hurricane. You're just kind of like, oh shit. So basically, anytime I infect, okay. I think there's another bull netch. Okay, so let me go ahead, hit this dude. Okay. See that 2-7? 1706. Okay, dropped off. That's the dot. And now it doesn't have any resistance. So it kind of gives you a good indication of full penetration. Now I'll do it without the dot. On another bowl. If I can find another bowl. There it is. Oh, that's a Betty. Anyways. Alright. See, it's a lot less. Well, that one crit, but... See, it's under. So, what the Master Bow does is it magnifies every ability on target. Every ability. Once you inject their asses. That's why PvPers use it. Duh. Why do you think we crave it? Oh, we're drooling. Oh, so yummy. Oh, every ability is getting bumped up. It's basically a Hunting's Rage in one piece. Hunting's Rage is 300. Right? We know that. We know it. Right? It's 300. Look it up. We know it. You're adding a Hunting's Rage on top of your set. Plus whatever. Well, Hunting's, whatever. But, yeah. And then I get 103. So, with the Perfected. So, I get 433 weapon damage for this bow. With all abilities. Yes, it's single target. Right. I know that. It applies to each with an injection. But on single target, on burn, like I said, the meta players have been wrong time and time again. I'm like, They've been high as a kite. That's why I said there's only one build I'm using Reliquin. One. I don't build everybody the same. I never have. Y'all know that. Why? Because the passives are different. The builds are different. That's pretty much it. Like my Stam Sword can get away with automatons. Why? Versus the Blade here. Because his Sork abilities are multipliers on what? Weapon damage. The Blade doesn't get that effect. So who's stronger with automatons? Based on weapon damage scaling. Stam Sork. You see where I'm going? They're both using Leviathan as a base set. But I don't get a weapon damage scale as effective as the Stam Sork because of the passive. So when I switch out to the Stam Sork, we get that passive, right? And he's an orc. So he's an orc and he's an orc. They're both orcs. But the deal is Hurricane will magnify itself over time. But this is the on 1200 consecutively for 10 seconds. Now take a look at Hurricane. It's under 1,000. It will grow and deal more. But even if I was to slot it, I went over that earlier in the stream. And this dude melts. He melts stuff. So it's like, all of my pens, none of my stamp pens have gone over 6. None of them. I don't want to go over 6 ever. Because that's, if even at over 5.4 technical, or 5.3 something technically, I'm over penned. If all parameters are aligned, all stars are aligned, give or take. But, I definitely don't want to be over 6. So, the biggest thing about the Stam Sork is its passives with exploitation. Or not exploitation. Expert Mage. Increase my weapon and spell damage for each ability slotted. Okay, that's a percentage-based scale, right? So the weapon damage scales in automaton is what affects the physical damage, right? This applies to weapon. So automatons works exceedingly well on this type of scaling system where the blade doesn't get that, because why? Its main damage isn't physical, it's disease. Same thing with DK, stam DK. It's what? Poison. So why wouldn't I want to put everybody in the same setup? Because their passives contribute to their damage type, right? And especially in the scaling system, where some would benefit more on max scaling, some whatever. They're both orcs. I still want to scale up their weapon damage, but I want to change what type of what effects they're doing. I want to try to veer away from using disease damage on my blade, especially because I don't have a very reliable spammable. So given that fact, I'm going to use more likely a dual wield. Why? Because it has a relatively a better spammable for the class, because the toolkit doesn't, really offer as good. Yes, I know I have the one that reduces the physical, but when you're trying to weave or trying to build up, I don't know. I think, the dual wield is a lot better in my opinion. Well, once penetrate, because you can't overpen. And that's why I said at the end of the day, some abilities are that pointless. But, or not pointless, just they're not they're not being multiplied on as easily. So this to me is where it's at. Because when you take a look, I'm only dealing 957 damage every second for 15 seconds, 5 seconds longer. But my blade's dealing 12. And that's going to go up to about 14. And it's still the same radius, 5 meters. Like I said, the meta players need to put down crack pipes. Put them down. Because you can't build them the same. You just can't. You're actually weakening certain classes if you do it. So, but yeah. No, it's awesome. I love this dude. He's going to be good. He'll be fine. He'll be pretty. He'll be good. Anyways, man. Guys, thank you, Leda. Thank you, Irish. Saying, dude, I love you. And Harold, thank you guys so much. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take a break. And guess what? Then I got to, level my Templar. But anyways, thank you guys so much. As always, I'm Mr. Craven. This is Mystic MMOs. Peace.